Other data access subject rights. GDPR extends and strengthens data subject existing rights, as well as introducing new ones. The right to rectification is now also right to completion. If a data subject identifies personal data held is incomplete, then an organization is obligated to accept additional data from the data subject to complete it. Incompleteness is seen under GDPR as much as a form of inaccuracy as the data being incorrect. GDPR also introduces the right to erasure, also referred to as the right to deletion, or right to be forgotten. The existing right to be forgotten is simply a right not to be indexed by Google. This right means that if a data subject exercises this right and an organization has no need to keep the data, they must securely erase the data as soon as possible. If a data subject exercises their right to erasure and there is a legal need to keep the data, organizations should consider restricting processing. This means the data is no longer processed as normal and recognizes the data subject has exercised the right but acknowledges the need to keep the data. Restricted processing is also required if a controller has determined that the basis of processing to be their legitimate interest are not overridden by the subject access rights. If a data subject, organizations must put that data into restricted processing. It is critical organizations find a mechanism to facilitate the restricted processing requirement, particularly with regard to archived copies of personal data. If an incident arises, a restore is required. How does the organization ensure all personal data which was subject to an erasure or restricted processing is not restored as normal? The right to withdraw consent and the right to object to processing are now standard rights and do not require specific circumstances to be met in order to be exercised. Organizations need to consider how they're going to facilitate these rights. The right to data portability is about being able to provide the data subject a copy of the data in the format they can accept or pass it on to a recipient at the request of the data subject. Organizations must ensure they are using formats that recipients of the data can use. The right to object to automated decision making is strengthened. Organizations must provide notification when this is in place, the logic behind it, the impact at the data subject. The organization must facilitate this right to object and also facilitate the right to human intervention in such situations. Organizations should note that unless there is an explicit consent from the data subject, automatic decision-making must not use sensitive or children's data in that decision-making process.